of the Friday morning Viewpoint. It's also available, by the way, on the selmapostherald.com website on the home page under the slogan History in the Making on selmapostherald.com. And you can see the full program that took place. You know, it's a lot of buffering that happened last week to the point of where we could not, but it was recorded and it is on YouTube in the selmapostherald.com YouTube channel has it listed, and the selmapostherald.com on the home page. You can click and see and watch that particular event. Now let's see where we're going to start this morning. Today, of course, is Friday, June the 19th, and we'll get into a little bit of the history surrounding Juneteenth before the morning is over. You know, maybe like a little refresher. You know, Juneteenth. Well, that was Juneteenth. Well, I'll get into that a little later because it's a very interesting story and different parts of the Civil War in different months. It was not all in June. In fact, the 20th of May celebration is what they do in Florida. That's a big day in Florida. It was a real big day, the equivalent of Juneteenth, and also in parts of Georgia, it was the same thing. But anyway, we'll get into that a little later. But let me make sure that I remind you about a couple of things that are coming up, and of course, tomorrow from 10 a.m. until 12 noon. Reverend Frankie Hutchins and her New Beginnings Cancer Support Group will be at the public library, and it gives people an opportunity to sit down and talk and discuss. And if you're a survivor, a cancer survivor, or if you've been diagnosed with cancer, then this is an excellent support group to participate with, so that you can talk with people that you have certainly something in common with. And you know, we talk a lot about a lot of different support groups. Support is really important, and especially if you're going through a health crisis. And if you've survived a health crisis, and you're of the mind and heart to share with others, then you can be helpful. You can help somebody go through something serious like that. And so Reverend Frankie Hutchins took it upon herself to start the New Beginnings Cancer Support Group. We're going to have her come in one day, and we really get into the details, talking about what the group has done so far and how it's going. And again, that's going to be at the public library tomorrow, downtown Selma, from 10 a.m. until 12 noon. So it's a real good program to participate in, especially if you've been diagnosed with cancer or if you have survived cancer. And I'm still getting my my daily suspected spam calls. yesterday. I was getting them from all over the world almost. Hawaii. So I said, now I know I don't know anybody presently in Hawaii. I know some folks from Hawaii, but they don't live there now. So I know it wasn't a personal call, you know? Anyway, Viewpoint, you're on the air. Hey, how, yeah, I know that's right. Aloha, huh?
I've never been there. Listen, I wanted to call in response to your Democratic buddy that calls you talking about that not caring about babies that Israel killed 40,000 children in Gaza. And, you know, that's a number put out by a terrorist group. You know,
You know, when I didn't challenge it, but I remembered that I was saying to myself, I said, wait a minute, that doesn't sound right. And then, when we talk about October 7th, there's no way for me that anybody can justify the attacks on Israel on October 7th.
you can't be tit for tat, but you know, he wants to bring that up, but his party supports abortion that killed 1,100,000 children last year. I mean, Randy, I mean, the irony of that. I mean, he's going to bring up a point that Israel destroyed that many children, and we did it on purpose, 1,100,000, and then, you know, his party through Biden let in all these people. What was it? 600,000 children were lost, and some of them that they have found now have been raped 600 to 700 times, and that's the Democratic Party following that. And I don't know what this party is doing with all socialism, which is another name for communism, but they're going to have a socialist mayor in Washington, D.C., in our capital. And that's his party. That's what he's supporting. And I just, you know, he wants to focus, and all these Democrats want to focus on Trump. When the country's falling apart, that party's falling apart. And I don't know how you can be on the wrong side of that many issues and want to throw rocks at the hardest working president we've ever had. He works harder than I don't think he could beat threes.
And I still don't think he's accepting a salary. If I'm not, I may be corrected.
And you know, he left here after that UFC fight, flew to France, met with Macron, did all that, and then flew back. When he landed, then he's given medals of honor out yesterday. The man never stops. And I mean, it's almost like he's not human. I've never seen anybody that can get that much done on.
Well, you know, I think he enjoys working, you know, and I've known some guys like him, but usually, you know, a lot of Jewish business people have that approach. That's the approach that they take, an attitude towards work. But no, I hear what you're saying. He's a self. I think he's described himself as a workaholic to some extent.
There was when I was younger, there was a baker, a Lebanese baker down in Destin, Florida, that had come from Lebanon. He worked 20 hours a day in his own bakery. And it came from nothing. But he worked 20 hours every day. You know, I mean, it's just, you know, 8:39, I'm in bed.
Well, see, but that's what it takes, though. If you're going to own your own, if people who are in business, you know, it's not uncommon that they put in, you know, minimally 10, 12 hours a day because you're working for yourself.
Well, yeah, that's true. I mean, I'm kind of a worker.
Although well, wait a minute, don't you? I guess you're kind of not a farmer, but you're a cattle farmer, huh?
I work days a week, Randy, and I enjoy it. But you know, you can't. I'm learning the older I get that you can't do it all the time. But yeah, that's.
You have to pace yourself. I had to learn how to pace myself.
I've had businesses and you know, it's just you work all the time because you wanna build something. You know, Elon Musk, I guarantee you that man, he doesn't shut down. And you know, you don't get to where these people are getting who government never made them, never made people millionaires by giving them anything. I mean, this thing called SpaceX, they had a janitor. He started as a janitor. He's a multimillionaire now. Say that IPO. He took care of his people, and he made. I mean, not just him getting all that money. He made a lot of people millionaires that invested in this company that worked. He just didn't suck it all himself because he made a lot of people wealthy. And you know, I tip my hat to people like that. We won't say they don't pay taxes, but if they don't invest money in new companies, there's no jobs out there for people. And all these people that are millionaires now, they would have had an opportunity to have wealth without what he's done.
Only in America.
And all you go on YouTube, Facebook right now and watch all these foreigners that are over here for the World Cup. They can't believe how good this country is. The food, the people, the abundance of stuff that we've got here. You know, they've been listening to CNN, a Democratic controlled network, tell them what America is, and then they get over here and they go like, they've been lied to all these years. This is a great country. And there's one other thing. This morning I saw that 23% of Democrats, only 23% were going to celebrate the 4th of July. But I hope you had your pill this morning.
Oh, I've got it. I'm not going there. You know, I'm just not. I'm not going there. You know, I'm not going there this morning. God willing.
You stay dry. I got to get out and feed the cows.
Oh boy, yes, sir. You be careful out there with them cows.
All right, buddy.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much. Oh, early happy Father's Day. All right, Viewpoint, you're on there.
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Well, I had to call in because he mentioned me. Now, I told you a long time ago that we had the same understanding about abortion and the death sentence. Actually, I was against both of them, but I don't think that the government even realized he was running the country that until it should be able to tell a woman what to do with her body. So, he's wrong about that. I don't agree with abortion. I don't agree with the death penalty. So, I wanted to call and clarify that. But a woman he called yesterday was complaining about Barack Obama sending $1.4 or $1.7 billion to Iran after they made the deal. But right now, it's estimated that, and this ain't no left wing news reported this and all of this, or right wing and left wing. When it's all said and done, Iran will have access to about $400 billion. Now, I wonder, do you think that is acceptable? Do you think that is acceptable?
Well, first of all, I don't know that that's a fact. And when I listen very closely to the news stories, they all are using, they're all qualifying, and they're using terms like allegedly, and it's rumored. So nobody really knows. I don't know. I have no idea what the deal. I don't know what the deal is, and it may not even be a deal because that they've already had to reschedule or had to counsel the vice president going to the signing because the Iranians, for whatever reason, have decided not to sit down at the table. So I don't know, to answer your question.
The reason they're not sitting down to the table because Israel is still attacking Lebanon.
What does Lebanon and Israel have to do with the United States and Iran?
It's in the memorandum, Randy. Hostilities.
No, that's all BS is what it is in my book.
It's in the memorandum, right? Netanyahu just don't care. He was involved, I think he just kicked 18 to 20 people yesterday. And that's why the Iranians said, if you can't control them, why should we be willing to deal with you?
Well, why can't Iran control Hezbollah, and some of the other terrorist groups that they fund?
So what are you saying is this? That Israel just go ahead on attack them and they ain't gonna attack back.
No, I'm not saying anything. Only thing I just thank God that I don't live in a country where just about on every side of the border I have to be concerned about a constant bombardment of attacks. Because and that our neighbors, I don't think Canada has said death to America. So, and I don't think Mexico says death to America. They got some drug cartels we have to be concerned about, but we don't have to deal with anything like what they're dealing with in Israel. Enemies on every side.
Oh, we've been watching the news and everything else, and admissions from Trump and all of that. Trump confirmed that the $300 billion will be established. He confirmed that he will use sanctions on the oil. He's confirmed that he will unfreeze the assets. That's going to give him about $200 billion right there.
Well, he has the United States has destroyed their Navy and their Army and the Air Force, and they have so they they deserve to rebuild. They just don't I think the goal is so that they don't the whole issue about nuclear weapons is not a new issue in terms of the world of nations. And my question is, where is the United Nations in all of this? Why aren't they saying anything? Why aren't they coordinating peace efforts? Where's the United Nations?
He didn't tell anybody. He didn't tell our allies or whatever he was going to go in on attack.
No, where's the United Nations?
What the United Nations?
Where was the United Nations when on October 7th Israel was attacked? What was their position on that?
The United Nations got an embassy securing Israel. Netanyahu knew that was going to happen. He's been giving Hamas money. Don't give me that stuff, man.
Well, like I said, I'm not going to even go down that rabbit hole with you. State your opinion, and I'm going to be quiet. I'll just listen to what you have to say.
Rabbit hole, really fact. I mean, and then he gets enough news. Right when you know about the truth. Everybody knew about it. He was paying Qatar to send Hamas money to undermine the Palestinians. Everybody knew about that. So we don't sit up and try to tell me I don't know the facts and this and that and all that. But you don't even try to look it up and even if anything goes against Trump, you ain't gonna touch it. You ain't gonna look it up and nothing. That man went and complained about $1.7 billion yesterday. And right now, we know that Iran will get at least $300 million. Now, instead of going to war, Obama negotiated. He negotiated for 18 months, and he got a deal. And that's all they had to give them.
We need to send you to Washington so you can help them negotiate since you know all these facts.
And another, it wasn't no life loss. It wasn't any story over there that we had to go and rebuild and all that stuff.
Huh? Hold back up. No life was lost.
No life was lost during this negotiation. Nobody attacked anybody during that negotiation. And we didn't attack that country now. We got to pay to rebuild it. But we still need insurance over here. They're talking about the other countries that they want to love to be.
I know you want to give them intercontinental ballistic missiles. The country that says death to America, the great Satan. That's who you support. You ought to be ashamed of yourself being a veteran with that kind of with that viewpoint. That's puzzling to me.
They come to the other day, man. Trump said yes, they will take them as ballistic missiles because everybody else got them, so they ain't careful. So what are you saying?
I'm saying that there's a whole lot of veterans who are maimed and paralyzed from the IUDs and then death who have been killed as a result of terrorist attacks that the world admits were supported by Iran.
Ask you something, man, Randy. Those people was in war with Iraq. We didn't go. the weapons to kill and destroy the country. Now, you gonna come over there and then start to fight and my back door. They got a right to go in there and tell you to shoot. You've been in my business for the last 15 years. Don't give me that crap about.
Well, you've made it clear, you've made it clear, veteran, that you support Iran. You go right ahead, and then when you go to Iran, the first thing you should do is put your passport up in the air and let them know that you're an American.
You never heard me say the truth. Don't lie on me.
I never heard you say what? You just said you think that Iran has should be able to has the right to whatever you were saying, but you the way you come across is you're supportive of Iran. You've even said you think they have a right to have a nuclear weapon.
Did you get here folks the other day that Iran need to have militia weapons because everybody else got them? He just said it. So he can credit to his country too.
Well, I didn't hear that. I don't know what you're listening to, but I haven't heard that. Which station were you listening to? Which network were you listening to?
I heard it coming out of his mouth.
Which station were you? You don't. Oh, I forgot. You don't think you trust all the news agencies. You trust all the propaganda. So go right ahead. I said I'm just going to listen. It's because it doesn't make sense for me to comment on with you anyway. Go ahead. Make your case. State your case.
I was looking at Fox News when he said it. So if you want to blame the news report, blame Fox News, and you blame him because the words came directly out of his mouth. And when that did say that they will get that money, we know that people will just go in and collect funds. If he hadn't went to war in the beginning with none of this been going on, all he had to do was just keep negotiating like a woman. He didn't supposed to get out of the deal in the beginning. He ripped it up because he hates Obama. It's just pathetic the way y'all put his head on the cloud, man. They don't care about you. He had laid with $3 billion and $8 billion at that time. He don't care about you. He couldn't food stamp for people. He couldn't medicate for people. And like I said before, that was a survey that he talked to people in these other countries. These so-called socialist countries we're talking about, they got free health care, free education and all the rest, free child care. And those people said you would never want to be under the system that the United States is under. Because we are sad. We're supposed to be the most powerful, richest country in the world, and we can't even give our people health care. Now, what do you say about that greatness that we're supposed to be? It's not the country. It's the people that lead the country. Yes, I do love this country. But that doesn't mean I got to love the leadership of it. Especially when they're not doing the right thing, Mr. Randy. You know they're not doing the right thing, but you're too cowardly and don't want to be wrong. You can't make you right to everybody. Listen, sir.
Okay, thank you for calling. This is a good place to take a break. I'll be back with more after these messages.
Tornado damage total reconstruction. Georgia's has the latest advanced technology, especially designed for today's multi-tech vehicles. The Bosch calibration system restores safety features like lane departure and collision sensors. The two new chief frame machines, its computer laser measuring system, delivers pinpoint accuracy down to the millimeter. And the two new downdraft paint booth units provide perfect quality refinishing. And with the reconstruction comes a much larger facility designed for an increased capacity and quicker turnaround times. George's deals directly with your insurance company. They work for you. Call to schedule your estimate and repairs today. See the pros, Eric and Scooter Hoggett at George's Paint and Body Shop, 1215 J.L. Chestnut Jr. Boulevard, or call 334-872-1441. The all-new George's Paint and Body Shop has reopened in Selma. Hi, George.
Every woman's life is a journey, and every journey is unique. No matter where life takes you, you deserve compassionate health care every step of the way. Bowen OBGYN Associates will meet your unique health needs at each stage of your life. Time for your first mammogram, ready to start a family, or need postmenopausal care? Come see the Women's Health Team at Bowen OBGYN Associates for services close to home. New patients welcome. Most insurance plans accepted, including Medicaid. Be well, live well. That's why we're here.
1490 WHBB. I hadn't heard otherwise, but I am assuming that Foot Soldiers Park is going to move ahead with the fifth annual Still We Rise Juneteenth celebration this afternoon from 12 until 4:30. I have not heard that it's been canceled because of weather concerns or not. So I assume, and it's not good to assume, but I assume, unless I hear otherwise, that they are going to move ahead with that. Um, this weekend is going to be kind of unpredictable weather-wise. Um, tomorrow, we do have a 70 to 80% chance of rain, and so there's some other activities that anything outdoors may be affected by that, I would think, but I don't know for sure. In fact, George Henry and I were wondering about what was going to happen for Ames Fest for Hope, Keenan's Mill tomorrow, and I don't know if they have, although I don't know if they have, if they're prepared for a big crowd indoors or not. It's been a while since I've been to Keenan's Mill, so I don't know if they've made some any changes to that campus or not. But it seems like I remember they do have a few, at least one or two buildings or structures that people could go on the inside and do things, and I don't know. So, but it's scheduled to start. The doors open at 1 at Keenan's Mill and go on to 7 o'clock. And there's going to be a special poetry reading by Amy Carmichael. And until I hear otherwise, if someone connected with that event can call us and let us know if it's canceled. If it's not, if you don't call them, we'll assume that it's going to go on as planned. In Orville tomorrow, the Resource Center's annual community health fair from 10 a.m. until 2 p.m. A collaboration with Rural Health, UAB, Red Cross, DHR, Cahaba Mental Health. God knows we need Cahaba, A&D Insurance, On Wellness, Dallas County Extension, and others. They're going to have free health screenings, cholesterol, blood pressure, diabetes, nutrition information, and this will be at 2360 Dr. John T. Moore Street in Orville from 10 a.m. until 12 noon. That's indoors. These health fairs are really good to take advantage of. So know where you're at. If you don't already know where you're at. Know your blood pressure rate and know your weight and cholesterol and just get as much information as you can on nutrition. Yesterday when Attorney Salam was here and the young lady that is heading up the health initiative, um, health is really important. It's a no-brainer. It's obvious. We know that health is important, and so people are becoming more and more conscious and aware of where we are health-wise. There's a lot of things we can do ourselves that can help improve our health, and health is priceless. There's a lot of people all over this country and all over the world that are wealthy financially, but they don't have the health. There are people in hospitals and people who are bedridden. I remember I talked about Mr. Evans yesterday, Mr. Sam Evans of Philadelphia. He married one of the richest women in the world. He's an African American, originally from Jacksonville. He was the impresario for the Philadelphia Orchestra, which was in itself rare. I don't know if they've ever had another African American, and that was in the early, like the 1930s. He was an advisor to every president, from President Roosevelt, Theodore Roosevelt, up to Nixon. And I take that back. It was even because he was still alive, even after President Nixon. But he married into the King family, not Martin Luther King family. This King family at the time was one of the wealthiest families in the world. And, you know, the biracial relationship. But later, in years later, his wife became, she became bedridden. I've forgotten what disease she ended up with, but she was really, really sick. But he took, you know, he took his position uh, and the finances that he had access to and founded the Foundation of Negro Affairs. And they literally financed. They gave scholarships to hundreds of African American men and women who became uh, doctors and lawyers. It was what he was mainly interested in, trying to make sure they had enough money to get through school. That's giving back, you know. He was also instrumental in helping Gamble and Huff finance Philadelphia International Records, you know. So he was very conscious, and he was also a roommate. I think he told me once. I didn't know that he was a roommate with Oppenheimer, and he wrote a book. He thought that, and you know, interesting enough, in the last several years, I've been hearing more and more people kind of buy into this. But he thought that we would be looking at 4-day work weeks as opposed to the 5-day work week, and that we would be looking at not putting as much hours. Now, you know, the other caller, the caller first, and talking about, you know, the number of hours that an entrepreneur has to put in to establish a successful, financially successful business, unless you're born into it. And that, even then, you know, because you know, I've met a lot of folks over the years that were concerned about whether or not their children uh, would be able to, whether or not their children would be able to continue a successful business if they didn't understand, if they didn't have the work ethic and were not willing to put the time in. But there's nothing wrong with having a 9 to 5, you know, and being able to go home and relax and not have to worry about uh, meeting payroll and not having to worry about the utilities and all of the and the taxes. Oh my goodness, boy! It, you know, when I first got in my first business, I didn't know anything about how much the taxes. How much I'm talking about taxes that you have to pay for employees. You know, it's a lot of money involved in that. So it's all right if you don't, you know, if everybody is not cut out to be an entrepreneur. It's a tremendous sacrifice that has to be made if you want to be successful. And then sometimes even after that, it's not guaranteed. It's a gamble, you know, and so that's the nature of the beast. Anyway, speaking of time, how about the Providence Male Chorus having invested 30 years plus lifting our Savior Jesus Christ through singing and praising. And tomorrow at 4 o'clock, it's harvest time. They'll be having their anniversary, and it will be at Providence Missionary Baptist Church, 1694 Kings Bend Road in Selma. You know, and we know that's an indoor event, so the rain certainly will not affect that, right? Uh, yeah, interesting. And you know, on the flyer, I guess they got a couple of songs that they are quoting. Jesus cares, and God told Noah it's going to rain. Well, in all of my help, these are some of their. And I found a friend. You know, these are some of their favorite tunes, right? And let's see what else is happening. Okay, we know this is the Father's Day weekend. Summer starts on Sunday as well. Father's Day and summer start. And there's a couple of programs on Sunday that I'll tell you about as well. But first, let's go back to the phone line. Viewpoint, you're on the air.
Well, good morning, Randy.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing okay. How you doing?
I'm doing fine. What's on your mind?
Well, I just wanted to call and tell you I thank you for everything you did with my daughter's birthday. And she had a beautiful birthday.
Well, good. I'm glad to hear that.
And she got her mama gone to get her ready so she goes to the doctor. She got a doctor appointment today, a 4-year-old appointment.
Wow. Well, that's good. Get them started early. That's right. Get on top of it early.
No, it ain't good because she got to have 2 shots.
Well, I don't like shots either, so I don't blame her for not wanting the shot.
Hey, Randy, I'm grown and I don't like them.
I don't like needles. I don't know how anybody gets hooked on heroin. I don't want a doctor to give me a needle, you know?
Well, look, they done count all the events for the day, ain't
I don't know. I haven't, nobody's contacted me. Just said that they're not going to some, so I don't know.
because I know rolling them for they have on the day, you know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay. All right, then, but anyway, I just called.
Well, thank you for calling. How's Napoleon doing?
He's doing where he got the word.
Well, tell him I said hello when he gets back.
Hey, Randy, they payday, so he gone to.
I hear you. Well, good. Well, you guys, y'all manage them finances.
Okay, Randy, but you have a good weekend.
Yes, ma'am. You too. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for calling. And we're going to get ready to take a break. But before I take the break, I do want to mention on Sunday, there's a couple of programs. The first annual Father's Day celebration, the Beach Island Missionary Baptist Church at 4777 Water Avenue is going to host Men Worshiping God Together in Unity. The guest speaker, Pastor A. Lavelle England of Friendship Missionary Baptist Church in Marion. And of course, Beach Island's pastor is Reverend Rodney D. Hardy Sr. The Master of Order, Minister Bill Barron, all are welcome to that program. And the 10th pastoral anniversary for Pastor Alan Barnett Jr. He was here Sunday. I saw him Sunday. And his elect lady, Alice Barnett, they are being celebrated and honored on this Father's Day. Their theme is chosen by God, and the MC will be Deacon Spencer Johnson, the pulpit conductor, Pastor Bishop Christopher Wright, and the guest speaker, Pastor J.C. Benson of Fig Tree Living Word Church in Jones, Alabama. And also, before I take this break, coming up next week, well, there's a couple of revivals, in fact, next week. We've got Mount Olive number 2 in Sardis is going to be in revival Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. And their pastor will be running that revival. New Cedar Grove Missionary Baptist Church on Eugene Avenue, 2040 Eugene Avenue, in revival all week, Monday through Friday at 7 p.m. each night. There'll be a different minister each night. And that is Monday, June 22nd through Friday, June 26th. And New Macedonia Baptist Church, 8963 County Road 37. That's Summerfield Road in Valley Grande, having their annual revival Tuesday through Thursday next week, June 23rd through the 25th at 7 p.m. Their theme is Create in Me a Clean Heart, O God, and renew a right spirit within me. The evangelist for the week, Reverend Dr. Craig B. Scott of Mount Arad Missionary Baptist Church, 120 South Division Street. Reverend Jonathan Shanks is the pastor of New Macedonia. Let me say good morning, by the way, to Reverend Scott. You know, he did a wonderful job he was a real driving force behind getting a lot of those homes that got roofs, money that was spent on their roofs that they didn't have to pay for. You know what I mean? It didn't come out their pocket. That's significant. That's community development, you know. And so, good morning, Reverend Scott, and the members of Mount Arad Missionary Baptist Church, because he had to have a support mechanism. And I don't think I mentioned. I think people know that Pastor Dan Moore is the pastor of New Cedar Grove Missionary Baptist Church. Good morning to you also. He just had a 60th anniversary for one of the churches that he pastors. And I see where Reverend Elder O.C.L. Akoff at Union Grove Primitive Baptist Church they're having their 93rd, church anniversary, Sunday, June 28th at 2 p.m. Dinner will be served. And their theme is, and I say also unto thee, that thou art Peter, and upon this rock I will build my church, and the gates of hell shall not prevail against it. That's from Matthew 16th chapter 18th verse. Let's take this break, and I'll be back with more after these messages.
Stopping by to visit with Barry Parker and our friends at Reliable Chevrolet and GMC. Anybody in the market for a Trax, a Traverse, Equinox, Colorado, Silverado, Tahoe, or Suburban, Reliable is the place to come to.
That's right, George. Don't forget about the GMC products, Terrain, the Acadia, the Yukons, the Sierras. Hey, whatever you're looking for when it comes to a new Chevrolet or GMC, let me invite you to come down and see us. And don't forget, we got a great selection on the pre-owned automobiles, from cars to trucks to SUV. I've got a buyer at the auction twice a week, every week. So you tell me what you want, we'll call him up and let him be the old hound dog and go find it for us. And folks, if you need a service job, let me invite you to come by and see our service department. One of the top-notch service folks back here, all trained, certified, ready to work on whatever you're driving. And don't forget, tell George what happens when they get to that fifth oil change.
Well, for your first fifth oil change on your vehicle and every fifth oil change from then on, it is absolutely free, no charge, nada, doesn't take 1 red cent out of your pocket.
I like when you say that word free, George, and it is free. And almost every day I hear Eric or Alex or Lee coming to the service lounge saying, Miss Customer, that's your fifth oil change, that's free, that's on us. That's just another way we want to say thank you for doing business with Reliable. Been in business now 80 years, so come on down and let's do some business today, right here at Reliable Chevrolet, located in Lawrence Street. Check us out on the website at reliablegmc.com.
At Reliable, they truly have it all.
Congratulations to Peak Insurance, recently voted best insurance agency in the summertime.
I'm here, I'm hanging.
And a big round of applause for Warren Adams.
Talk to
best
Crumb, not yet.
customer
I'm gonna reach out to him again today.
Voted best
I
insurance
know the
agent.
weather kind of
say
had me
something
going
very
there, but
important.
I'll check with
Thank
him.
you to our loyal customers.
I gotta
who continue to
retire,
trust
so
us
they don't-
with your insurance needs.
How
You
things
have
going
to
with
give
the other
confidence
deals, all right?
everything to us. I'm Owen Peak. At Peak Insurance, we're proud to be the only locally owned independent insurance agency in Dallas County. From helping you choose the right coverage to standing by your side if you ever have a claim. We represent many great insurance companies, but we work for you. We're also honored to be the exclusive representative of Auto Owners Insurance in Dallas County, along with many other top-rated carriers. So once again, from all of us here at Peak Insurance, thank you for your loyalty and thank you for your confidence. Stop by and see us at 1003 Broad Street in Selma. Call today or visit peakinsurance.com. Peak coverage, peak service, Peak Insurance.
1490 WHBB. Oh, you know, next week, the Selma and Dallas County Economic Development Authority holding a workforce summit on next Wednesday, the 24th, from 9 until 3 at the Carl Morgan Convention Center. The guest speaker will be Dr. Denitha Griffin, president of Wallace Community College, Selma. Can't get any better than that. And the local, state, and federal workforce representatives will be on site to share cost-effective strategies for building a new talent pipeline and training current employees. And you can RSVP the Dallas County Economic Development Authority at 334-875-8365. And also on the 24th, Wednesday, next week, June 24th, from 10 until 2, a Selma pop-up wellness at Water Avenue Baptist Church, 3100 Water Avenue. And I sure hope people are taking advantage of these health fairs. I haven't been out in a minute. There was a point where I was covering, well, in fact, at one point I was the photographer for UAB's health, live health. And so I was being contracted to go to all of those, and which I enjoyed doing, and it was a lot of people that were participating, and I was glad to see that. I think we're getting there. I think people understand the importance of it, but it's just like, again, the young lady that is heading up that health initiative with the new movement with Attorney Yusef Salam. She made me remember that several years ago I participated in a workshop or a seminar of Black doctors that had come in from Tuskegee, and they were concerned that there was not enough participation by African Americans in some of these health studies. When the pharmaceutical companies produce a drug, they go through a trial and they test it. And so they weren't at one point. I don't think that's the case now. I think that has improved. More and more African Americans participate in these studies. And because there are some differences genetically between Black and whites and other Asian and Indian, and everybody's not exactly the same. We all bleed. We all bleed red blood, but there are some differences with various ethnic groups. Let's take one more break as we get ready to head to the top of the hour. Coming up in the 9 o'clock, the final hour of Viewpoint, I'm going to play the ribbon cutting ceremony that took place last week, this time last week, in fact, for the Jackson home in Michigan. Let's take this break. I'll be back with more right after this.
Red and the staff of Alabama Vascular Specialists are proud to announce they're now seeing patients at their Selma location on Thursday. AVS continues to grow, and now at 2117 Broad Street, the former Lightfoot Chiropractic office across from Selma High School. This new location of Alabama Vascular Specialists will enable Dr. Red, Dr. Wright Giddens, and Dr. Tan, along with all their staff, to better serve the patients of Central and West Alabama. If you suffer from poor circulation in your legs from symptoms of PAD, you should contact Alabama Vascular Specialists as soon as possible. There is no physician referral required. Call 334-801-9952 or online